Holly and Bear, so great to meet you both. Absolutely love this series.
Oh, thank you. We love it.
Bear, you said I've done many things in my life, but I've never hunted celebrities before. How did you find the celebrity hunt? Was it anything surprising?
Well, I gotta be honest, it was a totally new dynamic. Normally it's like, one on one, I'm taking them and they're kind of, shepherding them through the wild. This is like they're in at the deep end. I definitely give them a little bit of training at the start, and then Holly and me take them through these challenges and a bit more training. But then once they're in that bear pit, I do say to them, the gloves are off. This is going to be a tough environment. You got to be on your game here. And then, I mean, it's quite funny hearing sort of Holly saying the other side, seeing them then emerge back through
Yeah.
the gates.
I pick them up, patch them up, give them a cuddle, a cup of tea.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, they emerge bedraggled. But that is the show, it's kind of pressure testing people and teaching them and seeing how they react. Some
Yeah.
elevate, some collapse.
Holly, you said, I don't think the celebs know what they're in for. And then I thought, does Holly know what she's in for? Like, because I was watching you watch the celebs, and I'm like, she's just as nervous.
Yeah. No, I really was actually. And I actually quite liked not knowing what I was in for in a way. I kind of thought I'm just going to hand this over to Bear and then I'm just going to see what happens. And I'm just going to go along for this crazy wild ride and just see what unfolds. And actually, I loved it. I thought our bunch of celebrities were just incredible. I think the
Yeah.
fact that they were brave enough to say yes in the first place, and then the fact that they were like little sponges and they listened to every word Bear said. They wanted to really impress it. It's like when you're at school and you have that amazing teacher and you just want to do really well for them, even if it's your worst subject. You're like, I'm just going to do it because it's you. And then like it flipped and they were in the bear pit and suddenly it was like good bear turned into bad bear. And that's when it was so really, really massively intense. But yeah, it's just a properly exciting, brilliant show, which is intense, but then there's a real heart to it as well.
Yeah. But watching it, I kept going, but how? How does Bear do what he does? Like, come on. Are you never afraid of anything? Do you have a bear pit? What's your bear pit, Bear?
Yeah, it's a good question. The honest answer is lots of things. I'm definitely not one of these people who's fearless. To be honest, I get really nervous just filming. I don't find it very easy, lots of cameras and stuff. And I've just learned over the years that first of all, it's okay to be scared. Life is all about then how you deal with that. And like keep walking towards the scary stuff. It's a huge part of my life still filming, but it's like just like doing it, and I think then that muscle inside gets a little bit stronger. But every single one of these celebs had the same thing. We all find different things scary, but you're gonna have to deal with the fear. And as I say, through those gates, the
Yeah.
gloves are off, and it's like now I want to see how you deal with stuff. So, and it was a big set for Holly as a new show. I think all of us were in at the deep end, but
Yeah.
there is a power
Yeah.
to that, and at the end, some real heroes emerge on this show.
So, Holly, what's it like then going back home for you? Like 2 weeks in Costa Rica, totally different lifestyle. Does it actually take a while to readjust?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you do get really sort of you enter a completely different world, and that world becomes everything for the time that you're there. I think it was nearly a month we were there actually.
Oh,
And
wow.
obviously, you keep in touch with home, but it is FaceTime and you're on different time zones, so you're on
Yeah.
FaceTime. And that felt, obviously I miss the kids, but it felt easier now that they're older. And I think that that's a nice thing about getting older is that they're that little bit older. So I've got that opportunity where I actually feel comfortable going away and doing things like this. So I definitely was really able to enjoy it. My my kids were amazing. Dan was amazing. Like I thought that at least one wheel was going to fall off the car, and it didn't. I was like, oh wow, they're all like amazingly independent and brilliant. So, going back was I had some real stories to tell, which I liked.
Yeah.
And I think I did things that they weren't necessarily expecting me to do.
The promo says, these celebs will never be the same. Bear, when you leave something like this, do you also take something away from this? Do you learn something new about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's life,
Mm.
isn't it? I think often, again, for me, just having Holly there was a new dynamic and really fun. Sort of elevated it for me. It's like, I don't know, survival maths. I always call it 1 + 1 equals about 5 or 6 rather than two.
Mm.
Together I felt we're a really good, strong team for those celebs because
Yeah, it was great.
you got to be respectful of what they're going through. It's a you know, so it's a real kind of, you know, mind whatever for them. So I'm kind of respectful of that. And yeah, grateful to have Holly beside me. And I feel at the end of it, kind of, you know, yeah.
Did, wasn't it?
Yes.
Really good time.
Probably the worst answer of the morning.
Final question. I know season 2 hasn't been confirmed yet. Season 1 isn't even out. But who do you want to see going in next season?
See, I'm gonna leave that up to the people that know best, because I think that it's that thing is who would want to do it, but I feel like
Well,
you know,
now they've seen it.
now they've seen it. Now they've seen it.
You can't jinx it. You can't name names.
No,
Yeah.
that is true. But I do think, because if I'd have known about this, which I did know about this before we filmed it, I'd have been like, no chance, no way would I do something like that. I'm not capable of it. But I do think, even though it was tough, like I think the upsides to it, the things that people felt about themselves coming, I mean, they came out like the heroes that I think might entice more people to do it, because I think that's, you want a piece of that, you want to feel that way, and you want to do it, and I think people get something from challenging themselves. So don't know, we'll see.
Well, there's always a little bit of pain first. At the end, they kind of feel like, hopefully those who were still there at the end felt like they could conquer the world, but there's a price of entry, and it's a lot of sweat.
Like childbirth, you forget the painful bit.
I haven't, but I haven't, but I really did enjoy this series, and I hope there's more. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
You're very welcome.